On the phone, we have one of the newest members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. This gentleman played at the University of Notre Dame. He also played for the Los Angeles and Oakland Raiders. Tim Brown. How you doing today, Tim?
I'm just doing good, man. How are you?
Good. It was great to get the news a week and a half ago that you got in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it should have years ago.
Yeah, it's the wide receiver position is a tough position for these voters for some reason, and I think it's only going to get tougher with all the guys coming out. If they were having a problem with us playing in what they call the passing era, I don't know how they're going to be able to navigate around these guys. So we'll see what happens. But with Jerry out there and Chris Carter and Andre Reed and myself, man, and now Marvin is out there. It's just a tough deal, and it took 6 years, but at least we got it done.
I see that you grew up in Dallas, Texas. How did you end up going to Notre Dame?
Well, my people were looking for someplace that I can get a great education. And the only school that came to the house talking about an education was Notre Dame. So my parents were pretty impressed with their track record of graduating over 98% of their athletes at the time. We didn't think football I had a future in football. So it was all about getting that education, man, coming back home, getting a good job.
Another Hall of Famer was similar to you and Dan Hampton, that he didn't play football till later on in high school. He was a band member.
Yeah, well, I actually played in the 7th grade, 8th grade, but when I got to high school, I played my freshman year too, but my mom wanted me to stay in the band. I was in the marching band my freshman year also, and I enjoyed playing percussions, and she knew it was something that I really loved doing. So my sophomore year, I had to choose between a band and football, and she wouldn't sign the document because she wanted me to stay in the band. But I snuck and had my dad to sign the document for me. And so she thought that every Friday night I was still going to march in the band. And it wasn't until I had a great game and my name was in the paper, the picture and everything, that one of her friends called her and told her that her son was in the paper, and that's how everything sort of got exposed.
Was it a tough decision choosing Notre Dame over Nebraska or Oklahoma or SMU?
No, it really wasn't. It really wasn't. I mean, SMU was tough because I wanted to stay home, and it's a great academic school, and so I knew I could have gone there and done well. But with all the potential issues that they were even talking about then, we knew that it probably wasn't the best place for me to go. And believe me, at 17, and I graduated high school when I was 17, I wanted to stay home. I wasn't ready to go, 1,500 miles away. Really, I didn't have an option. Oklahoma, Nebraska, as far as academics were concerned, they weren't an option, and Iowa, and so it came down to really to SMU and Notre Dame, and with SMU with their potential problems, I really didn't have a choice but to go to Notre Dame.
When you went to Notre Dame, their coach was Jerry Faust, who was under a lot of pressure to win down there.
Yeah, it was pretty bad situation, man. I tell people, I mean, you look at Notre Dame's football team, then I didn't go there for the football. I went there, for the academics or whatever. So, it was tough. We had a tough 2 years. I think we went 5 and 6 both years, and we just weren't a good football team, man. But unfortunately, got rid of Coach Faust. He was one of the greatest coaches I've ever been around as far as his ability to deal with players. But on the field, it was just something totally different.
How did it change when Coach Holtz took over?
Well, you knew right away that this was a guy who knew exactly what he wanted to do and how he was going to get it done. And we just felt as if we were a much more complete football team. I think that his first year we went 6 and 5, but we really felt as if we had, gone 10 and 1. So we were really excited coming back into my second year because we thought, we had a chance. And we were 8 and 1 up until we met Penn State and had a chance to go for the tie, and we chose to go for the win and didn't get it. And that sort of knocked us out of the national championship race. But we were a great football team. And Lou had said when he first got there that in 3 years he was going to win the national championship. And sure enough, the next year after I was gone, they won it.
Did the players have a difficult time accepting Coach Holtz's decision to go for the touchdown rather than the field goal?
No, he left it up to us. It wasn't even the captains. It was the captains and the seniors. It was our choice, whatever we wanted to do. If we wanted to go for the 2 points, we could. If we wanted to kick the extra point and tie the game, we could do that too. But if we tied, chances are we were going to be out to match the championship rate that way too. So he called the right play. Tony Rice just didn't pitch me the ball.
Do you still aggravate Tony about that to this day?
Oh, you know I do. Every time I see him.
Who gave you the nickname Touchdown Timmy?
I believe it was the announcer at the Notre Dame game. I think he actually said that during the game one time when I scored, Touchdown Timmy. And that was it. It stuck, and, stuck throughout my NFL career also.
What was it like when you found out you won the Heisman?
It was one of those moments, man, that you really couldn't believe it had happened. I think by the time I got there, I knew I had a good shot, simply because, like one of my teammates told me, well, if somebody votes you third, then they shouldn't be voting anymore. So everybody's going to vote you at least second, and McPherson may win the East, and Gaston Green may win the West, but you're going to be second in all those regions, and you're going to win this thing on second place votes alone. So that actually made a lot of sense to me. But going into it, you still have no clue what was going to happen. But it was an incredible moment, no doubt.
Did it help being that you were at Notre Dame that people give Notre Dame players more respect in the Heisman Trophy voting?
I don't know if it did or not. I think Jim Nance asked me that question, and I told him, I said, look, I went to Notre Dame for one reason and one reason only, and that was to get a great education. And if it turns out that it helps me on the football field, then so be it. So I'm not apologetic for that. But, that certainly wasn't the reason why I went there. But if it did help me with that, then, God bless Notre Dame.
Did you know the Raiders were going to draft you in the draft in '88?
No, we were hoping they would. We were trying to get to them. So I think we did everything we could to get to that pick. And once we got there, we were hoping they would take us. So, they ended up taking us, and, it ended up being exactly what we wanted.
Originally, you were just, a punt and kick returner, and then you basically transitioned into being a full-time receiver in the early 90s. Yeah,
well, my rookie year, I led the team in receptions because Lofton and everybody got hurt, so I ended up leading the team in receptions. Then I got hurt my second year, missed 15 games, and came back the next year, my third year, and played. I was a third down guy and punt returner. I did that for 2 years, and going into 92, I was set to do the same thing. Then Mervyn Fernandez got hurt the second, third game of the year, and I ended up starting the rest of the year and starting the rest of my career.
How hard was it being a receiver with the Raiders because there was no stability at quarterback? It seemed every year there was a different quarterback.
It was tough, but at the same time, you knew that they had some ability. You just had to find out what that was and play to their strengths, and that's what I was able to do.
What was Al Davis like?
Al was, he was great at times and not so great at other times, but I think that, his overall legacy is going to be one of greatness and one of excellence because, when you win 3 championships and you put all the Hall of Famers in the hall that he has, you can't help but to be great, and he's in the Hall of Fame himself. So from that standpoint, it's a legacy of greatness, man, and that's where it should be.
Did James Lofton work with you when he was with the Raiders, or did Fred Biletnikoff work with you to make you a better receiver?
Lofton did. James, Freddie was my coach for 15 years, so obviously I learned a lot from him too. But Lofton, my rookie year, stayed out to practice with me and sort of got me ready to play the position.
How did Freddie help you?
Well, Freddie and I had many, many, many hours together in the classroom and on the field. So just every once in a while, dropping them nuggets of, what he did with his game or what I should be thinking was very, very helpful.
What cornerback gave you the toughest time?
Probably Dale Carter and James Hasty. Going against those guys twice a year was pretty tough. And, They were incredibly difficult guys to play against, but we managed to have some success against them, and they sort of brought out the best in you.
How pleasing was it when you found out that the Raiders were going to bring Jerry Rice in as a receiver alongside of you?
Well, I was really excited about that. I remember getting the call from Bruce Allen saying that they were going to do that, and I told him to do it yesterday and bring him in. And next thing I knew, I saw Jerry on CNN running routes with the Raiders. So, no, it was a right move, great for me in my career, and I think we may have even extended Jerry's career a couple of years.
How fulfilling was it when you made that Super Bowl?
It was great. It was year 15 for me. So to get an opportunity to play for the for the World Championship was an amazing feeling.
Did you think to yourself, you know what? I think we're going to do it this time?
Yeah, we definitely had the better team, no doubt about it. We had the number one offense in the league that year. Defense was ranked top 10. Everything that could go wrong just went wrong, and it ended up being what it was. But it was still an incredible experience.
You ever think to yourself, I wish the Raiders would not have matched the offer sheet from the Broncos in '94 because I could have had a chance of playing 2 Super Bowls with John Elway and the Broncos?
No. I think it turned out exactly the way it was supposed to turn out for me, and who knows? I go on there, John may have gotten hurt or something. Who knows? So I never let myself think that way.
What is a defining moment in your NFL career?
I don't know if there was a moment. I think for me, just being consistent for all those years was the thing that, I may be known for. Just, wasn't having one incredibly great year. I think I'm the only receiver in the history of the NFL to have 10 years with 75 catches, So, I think that's good enough,
You became eligible for the Hall of Fame in 2010. When you have to wait for that phone call, how hard is it?
It's gut-wrenching, brother. It's a gut-wrenching process, and I wish there was a different way they can do it, but I guess there isn't. I think if there was some kind of parameter list out there, it would make it a lot easier because guys would understand, if you hit this number, it's going to take you 2 years. If you hit this number, it's going to take you 5 years, but it needs to be something because this process is grueling, no doubt about it. And, I'm glad to see Charles Haley get in. I'm hoping that Kevin Green gets in pretty soon. Those guys, Kevin's been out there 9 years, 10 years, and Haley was out 11 years. So that's just way too long to be on the top 15 list every year.
I was hoping for a Notre Dame trifecta this year with you and with Jerome Bettis and Ricky Waters. So I don't know what's going on with Ricky. He's one of the best running backs around. But again, it's tough on running backs too.
Yeah, it is. It's tough. It's only going to get tougher too. So it's just going to be a tough process.
So who's going to present you when you go in?
It's going to be my brother. He is. He's been my brother longer than anybody's been my coach. So, so he's the one that's going to do it.